Hi there, Internet. My name's Court, and you've got courtside seats for my review of The Stand, Episode 1, titled The End. M-O-O-N. That spells Let's Do It. Well, it's finally here. The Stand has been my second most anticipated thing of the year, only after Tenet. And I've covered this new CBS All Access limited series extensively on my channel. And now we can finally talk about this first episode, The End. I should say, just for context, I'm a big Stephen King fan. I've read this book a number of times. I even have a nostalgic appreciation for the 94 miniseries. Now, with this review, I'm not going to get deep into spoilers for the book or for this episode, but I will be touching on certain things. So if you haven't seen the episode yet and you want to go in cold, go check it out. Hopefully you'll come back later. But this is officially your spoiler warning. Cool? Cool. Moving on. I liked this episode. I didn't love it. It was cool seeing these characters that I love back on screen, some of them better than others, of course. But I will say this straight up, we've known for a while that this show would not be following the linear storytelling of the book, but it would actually pick up sort of halfway through in Boulder, Colorado, and give us flashbacks to what happened at the beginning of the story. I remember saying in one of my earlier videos that I don't love the idea, but who knows, maybe it'll work. If it works, it works. Cool. I didn't think it worked. Now, granted, it's only the first episode. Maybe it'll start to work out better. Maybe it'll start to feel more normal as I get used to it. But for me, one of the most compelling parts of the book was the entire plague thing at the beginning. And just flashing back to that really sort of robbed this episode of the urgency of the end of the world. Plus, then there were flashbacks within flashbacks. I really found that the entire structure of this episode was really ragged. Now, as far as the major characters, this one is mainly focused on Stu Redman, Frannie Goldsmith, and Harold Lauder. Although it does briefly introduce Randall Flagg and Mother Abagail, but more on that later. Now, right from when it was announced, I was completely down with the casting of James Marsden as Stu Redman. I really like Marsden. He's got an air of Americana about him, which is very Stu. And I thought he was great in this episode. He didn't get all that much to do, but knowing where his story arc goes, I think he's gonna crush it on the show. I will say I found Odessa Young quite irritating as Frannie in this episode, but as I recall from the book, Frannie is quite irritating for the first chunk of it, so that worked for me. I don't know Odessa Young very well. I've seen her in one movie called Shirley. That's all I've got for her. The one that I'm really not sure about yet is Owen Teague as Harold. He's accurately insufferable in this episode, which is great. And I thought he had a couple of really strong moments. I thought he also had a couple of moments that were really over the top. So jury's still out on him for me. And I quite liked Hamish Linklater, who I'm not familiar with, as Dr. Ellis. I don't remember if that's a character from the book. If it is, I don't remember him. But it was nice to see Stu have kind of a friend at the CDC facility. I liked that. Now, as Stu is getting ready to escape, he goes up to see General Starkey. And the way that we're hearing Starkey's voice sort of guiding him through the hallways, you could just feel they were building up to a reveal of an actor that we didn't know was in this thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping it would just be Ed Harris again, because I love Ed Harris. No such luck. But hey, if I can't have Ed Harris, I'll take J.K. Simmons anytime. That was a great reveal. That was a treat. I dug it. I did find that Stu's escape from the facility, which is really pretty creepy sequence in the book, totally got glossed over here. I thought it was a complete missed opportunity. Both Whoopi Goldberg's Mother Abagail and Alexander Skarsgard's Randall Flagg, neither of them had much to do in this episode, so I don't really have a read on either of their performances yet. I did find that in her opening monologue, I was having trouble understanding what Mother Abagail was saying. I don't know if that was the way Goldberg was enunciating or if it was a sound mix thing, but it was a problem for me. I did really like what they did with Flagg, though. His foot holding open the door so Campion could escape. I thought that was awesome. Again, might have been in the book. I don't think it was, but I thought that was great. And him showing up in Campion's car as they drive by him, that was a cool little visual. Still, I really didn't like ending this episode with Campion's escape, that whole thing, what starts the entire book. I thought that was a really bizarre choice and really out of place. I did find the makeup effects on the dead bodies pretty disturbing, which I dug, although I did find the whole tube neck thing as it's described in the book. I'm glad they went for it. It really looked like obvious rubber prosthetics to me. And finally, I just want to touch on a couple of pretty sweet little Easter eggs that I noticed. In Boulder, Harold and I believe it was Teddy are in a house to get rid of bodies or whatever, and there's a poster on the wall for Sam Raimi's Darkman, a terrible movie that I really like. Now, obviously, this is a reference to the Dark Man, one of Randall Flagg's aliases. Then when Harold pulls the dead cop out of the cop car that's crashed into an antique store, the store is called Derry & Sons. This is an obvious reference to Derry, Maine, which is the town where It takes place. When Harold returns home after his bike accident, he goes into his room and he's got a poster on the wall of the cover of the band King Crimson's 1969 album In the Court of the Crimson King. The Crimson King, of course, being the big bad in the Dark Tower series. I believe Flagg is kind of like a henchman for him as well. But finally, and this was my favorite Easter egg, we see Harold has a nail in his wall where he hangs like the rejection notices that he gets from magazines where he's submitted fiction for publication. That was a nice little touch. That is something Stephen King was doing right when he was trying to launch his own career. I think he wrote about that in his memoir On Writing. I think that's where I know it from. But yeah, nice touch. So yeah, I thought there was some darn good stuff in here. I'm mostly really bothered by the show's structure. I feel like that could rob it of some really good drama. But we'll see how it goes, and having said that, I'm here for the rest of this season. I will be reviewing every episode as they come out, so subscribe, check back for that if you want to see those. But those are my thoughts on The Stand, Episode 1, The End. So now I want to know, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Are there any Easter eggs that you noticed that I didn't get? Whatever your thoughts, hit the comments below. Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this review, please smash that like button and give it a share if you really enjoyed it. And hey, why not take a second, do me a favor, click subscribe and ring that bell to subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews, entertainment news, trailer reactions, The Stand, all that good stuff. Hope you guys are all safe and healthy. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Take care.